Hello everyone, back at it again. I'm back to the drawdown lake. And right now I have to cross over some mud. Luckily it was cold overnight, so the mud's a little firmer. I have to be real careful with the weather and temperature, because if the mud softens up too much, it's just too much of a pain to deal with. You can sink in, I don't know, a foot or more into the mud. It'd be real easy to get stuck here in warmer weather, so I need to time it just right where the mud is still pretty firm. And obviously I need good ice, and good ice near shore to get out onto the ice. But this will be my last trip of the year. And I'm just lucky that everything kind of lined up so that I could get out on the ice one last time before some real warm temperatures came in. 55 degrees, wind and rain is just about the worst you can get for ice late in the season. Once the rain breaks through the ice and the wind starts lapping against the old ice, it goes really fast, and it's almost like teeth or something. It kind of chews the old ice up. This right here is there's no water under it. There's just frozen ice that's lifted up, and I'm cracking through it a little bit, but it's perfectly safe. It's not till I get to this point where I'm actually near the water's edge. They draw down the water here about 5 to 8 feet, depending on the year, depending on how much rainfall we have. It looks like there's a rock there that softened up right by the edge. But that was the hard part. Now I'm out onto some good ice. It's about 5 to 6 here, and in another little cove there's a little bit more, 6 to 7. So that's plenty of ice for me. Started out trying a new spot out here, but all I could find was small perch. So I went back to where I found some fish before. I always like to try new areas. Could be new ponds, new lakes, new coves, but it could be just a different area of the lake. Sometimes you find a really good spot, and if it doesn't work out, you just go back to where you found them before. And that's kind of what I did here. You can see on the ice there's different patterns in it because of different freeze-thaw cycles, where that first inch or two of slush ice froze and then started to break up and then got cold again and refroze. Has some kind of funky patterns through the ice right now. It looks worse than it is. It's actually it's pretty good quality ice right now. Of course, this didn't last too long, but when I was out here, it was solid stuff. It felt good. It's just that first inch or two is frozen slush and refrozen slush. Actually, it formed like a skim coat on parts of the ice, so it would crackle a little bit as I was walking. But that was just like the first, I don't know, eighth of an inch of ice, because it was warm before and then it refroze. All these cycles start to mess with the ice, and it gets towards the end of the season, the ice gets I would say porous. You can't really tell right now, and the ice was actually in pretty good condition, but sometimes it gets all bubbly. And if you're out on the ice and it sounds like a freshly opened can of soda or beer or something like that, and it's just fizzing away, that is not a good sign. That means it's probably time to pack up your gear and head home. But we got good ice today, good ice conditions. There's nobody out here, and I can pretty much drill some holes wherever I want to drill. So that's what I'm going to do. All right, we're down underneath the ice, and I've got a perch coming in already. He's not that big, but he thinks he's big. Onto the ice he comes. A little bit shallower in this hole. Water's got a little bit of a green tint to it. Still fairly clear though. It's about a medium-sized perch. I'm trying to coax him up a little bit, see if he'll come up for the jig, but if he swims away, it's no big deal. He's not really what I'm after today on this trip. I'd really like something bigger to come in from the side. Maybe some of his bigger friends to come in. So I'm just going to keep working that jig. If there's no fish on the camera, I tend to be more aggressive with the jigging motion. But when I can see fish on camera, I tend to slow down. And I'm not quite as aggressive. There we go. There's a bluegill coming in from the side. Try to lift him up a little bit. See the perch still swimming around underneath. There he goes. Oh, I missed him. He had the hook kind of sideways in his mouth. That time he ate it. And up he comes. All right, I see another bluegill down below. 2 bluegill. Try to get them to come up. Might have lifted him a little too much. Oh, there's a third one. There's a 4th one up high. There's a whole school that's come in. I think I almost had that one. Maybe I did get him. He was just off camera. See some of the other fish from the school swimming around. It'd be nice if they just stayed in one place, but a lot of times, you know, if you catch a fish and make some commotion, especially with my camera gear, it spooks them. There's another bluegill, and 1, 2 more down below. 4. Trying to lift them up. Lift up that whole school. It's 5, 6. One of them's got to eat it, right? Something a little bigger. That's a white perch. I always like to run into them. All right, this is kind of interesting. Right after I caught that white perch, and you can see a few more going by. There's a red breast in here, right there on the left. There's a red breast in the mix too. Anyway, all these fish are going by. And after I caught that white perch, I decided I was going to drill out some more holes. Try to see if I could find more fish. Because I was into a bunch of them. And what I think I did in drilling the holes is spook different groups of fish. They all started going one way, and then they all start coming back the other way. And I don't have a lure down right now because I'm drilling more holes. And what I think is happening is the fish are swimming away from me, drilling more holes. Without the video camera, I wouldn't know this was going on. It's kind of annoying to see the footage after the fact. You know, I know that I was so close to all these fish, and just by drilling more holes, I was pushing them away from me. Man. So I think next year I'm going to do things a little differently. I'm going to drill a whole lot of holes early, let things settle down, and then I'm going to fish deep to shallow and try not to spook these fish off of the shallower water where I'm fishing. In deeper water, I don't think this is as much of an issue. It's specifically for shallow water, and if you think about it, there's a 6-inch drill bit coming through 7 inches of ice and then plunging into the water. It makes a lot of commotion, and these fish don't seem to care for it. I don't blame them either. So next year I'm going to switch things up, drill a bunch of holes shallow, let things settle down, fish out deep a little bit, and then work my way shallow and try to be a little bit more stealthy. a little bit more quiet because, I mean, I was watching dozens and dozens of fish swim by on camera. And these are the fish I'm looking for, drilling all these holes all over the lake. And they seem to be avoiding me. So, yeah, you learn all kinds of things with the camera, and this is just another example of that. All right, letting things settle down a little bit. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 sunfish on camera. They're a little hard to see. They're down below a little bit. I'm trying to lift them up. If I go down, I hook one of them, I'm going to spook all of them. So I'm trying to lift them up. There's a few more coming in on camera. They look kind of like ghosts. And they're a little bit fussy right now. I should be able to catch one of them with all these fish going by. Once they kind of refused to come up higher, I dropped down a little bit lower. And then one ended up picking it up in the end. Oh, my friends, the small to medium perch found me again. Oh, what's this? This is something different. That's a big pickerel. That happened pretty fast, so let's slow that down. You see him coming in from the top right corner. Sizes it up, and then boom, he's on it. That was a good fight on the little jigging rod. All right, it's been a good season on the ice. A little shorter than last year's season, but I had a good time. And now it's time to get ready for open water, which is going to be coming up very, very soon. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll list all the gear, etc. in the video description, just like every other video. And I'll catch you on the next one. See ya!